Crimson floodwaters tore through Crestview Estates, swallowing million-dollar homes as I stood on a hill, coffee cup warm in my hands, watching $10,000 in HOA fines vanish with the wreckage. Eleanor Hayes, our ruthless HOA president, screamed from her rooftop as the deluge she'd orchestrated consumed everything she'd schemed to protect. The dam she'd ordered destroyed me damn could have saved us all. Now, nature was judge, jury, and executioner, delivering a verdict with 30 feet of merciless current. I'm Michael Carter, a civil engineer with a military background, and this is how my fight to protect my family exposed a conspiracy that nearly drowned our community. 6 months ago, my wife, Sarah, our 10-year-old daughter, Emma, and I moved to Crestview, Colorado, chasing a fresh start. The real estate agent called it the county's most exclusive neighborhood, but neglected to mention our new home sat in a natural drainage path from the hills above. On move-in day, as Sarah unpacked and Emma explored her room, a sharp knock interrupted us. There stood Eleanor, HOA president, clutching a binder of rules thicker than my old engineering manuals. Her smile was as cold as a tax audit. "We maintain high standards here," she said, handing me the tome. "No exceptions. That's what keeps property values soaring." She pointedly noted our moving truck was parked 15 minutes past the allowed time, but graciously let it slide. That evening, inspecting our backyard, I noticed the ground sloped sharply toward our house, with watermarks on the retaining wall from past floods. The drainage system was a Joe shallow ditches that wouldn't handle a summer shower, let alone a storm. Alarm bells rang. I took measurements, tested the soil, and confirmed we were sitting on a disaster waiting to happen. Later, I met Tom Bradley, a 68-year-old neighbor who'd lived here for decades. "Every few years, water roars down those hills like a freight train," he warned, pointing to the ridge. "The HOA's too busy fining people for unapproved mailbox colors to care. Last flood was 4 years ago. We're overdue." Digging deeper, I got property records and topographical maps, revealing our house was in a runoff path. Worse, the Weather Service predicted a brutal rainy season. At a local cafe, a woman named Laura Mitchell, a reporter, overheard my concerns. "That's odd," she said. "Crestview's brochures boast perfect drainage and zero flood risk." She handed me her card. "Find something solid, let me know." But off the record, Eleanor squashed every negative story about this place. At the next HOA meeting, I presented a detailed plan for a small dam and drainage system to divert water safely. The room went silent until Eleanor's laugh sliced through. "Mr. Carter, a dam would ruin our community's charm and tank property values. Nobody wants mud piles behind their homes, do they?" She rallied the crowd, dismissing my data. "Crestview's never had serious flooding," she insisted, though I caught her vice president, Greg Lawson, shifting uneasily, exchanging glances with Tom. The board voted my plan down, but a few neighbors looked worried. Frustrated, I sketched a smaller dam for our property alone. It wouldn't save the neighborhood, but might protect us. Our neighbor, Chris Gwynn, an IT guy, warned, "Eleanor's got spies everywhere. She's tied to big developers and punishes anyone who defies her." That night, our security footage showed Eleanor and a man in a suit from Pinnacle Properties snooping around our yard, snapping photos of the slope where water would flow. I zoomed in on his business card. This wasn't about rules, it was business. Over the weekend, Emma and I built the dam, disguising it with flowers and shrubs. "It's like a secret fortress, Dad," she giggled, planting daisies. Tom stopped by, impressed as my garden hose test showed water flowing exactly as designed. "This might actually work," he said, then whispered, "But Eleanor won't like being upstaged." Sure enough, Monday morning, Eleanor stormed up in a black SUV with Greg and 2 board members, waving photos of my project. "This unauthorized monstrosity violates HOA rules," she shrieked. "Remove it in 48 hours or pay $5,000. I explained it was on my land to prevent damage, but she claimed it would flood other homes. Sarah, a lawyer, stepped in, citing bylaws that allowed flood prevention. Greg started to mention a past flood injury but was silenced by Eleanor's glare. A warning letter arrived, threatening escalating fines. Then, Claire Evans, a quiet HOA member, emailed me. "I lost my patio to flooding last year." Eleanor's got her own agenda. 2 days later, I found my dam sabotaged its core dug out, useless. Security footage caught Eleanor and Greg at midnight, Greg reluctantly following her orders. A building inspector, tipped off anonymously, declared the damaged structure unsafe, and ordered its removal, barely glancing at my footage. Sarah found a photo online of the inspector golfing with Griga clear conflict. We redesigned the system as a terrace garden, fully compliant with city codes, and got permits directly from the city. Chris and sympathetic neighbors helped rebuild it in a day. Laura Mitchell watched, taking notes, still skeptical of my flood fears. The HOA hit us with a $10,000 fine, claiming we disrupted community standards. Overhearing Eleanor with the Pinnacle suit, I caught her saying, "The lower properties will tank after the rains. We'll buy them cheap, fix the sudden drainage issue, and triple our money." My blood ran cold. This was a calculated plot to profit from disaster. The bank notified us the HOA had filed the fine as a lien, threatening foreclosure. Sarah saw a legal opening. This is evidence of bad faith. We dug into Crestview's flood history. Tom shared photos of past floods, water up to first-floor windows. Chris accessed the HOA's hidden server, revealing emails between Eleanor and Pinnacle planning to buy flooded properties. A buried engineering report from 5 years ago, mirroring my proposal, proved Eleanor knew the risks but hid them. Claire revealed Eleanor diverted HOA funds to cosmetic upgrades, draining reserves meant for drainage. State law allowed residents to override HOA decisions, endangering safety. With Laura's help, we built a case, but a massive storm loomed. Eleanor ordered a compliance inspection to demolish our garden. Sarah filed for a restraining order, but time was short. We held an emergency meeting at Chris's house. 20 residents shared stories of HOA bullying and flood losses. Claire exposed the fund misuse. Tom's photos silenced doubters. Greg arrived, confessing, "My niece was hurt in the last flood." Eleanor lied about fixing the drainage. His betrayal of Eleanor unified us. Rain started early, and my monitors showed rising water levels. An anonymous text warned Eleanor had blocked the main drainage culverts with concrete to ensure flooding. By morning, the storm raged, and water pooled dangerously. The construction crew arrived to destroy our garden, led by the same inspector. I blocked them, shouting, "This is a safety system," but police called it a civil matter. They tore it down, leaving our home defenseless. Greg lingered, muttering, "This is criminal," before driving off. Water surged into our yard. Emma slipped, spraining her ankle. As I carried her inside, fury replaced despair. Chris reported half the neighborhood was flooding. I mapped water flow, pinpointing a last-ditch dam sitting on Eleanor's property. With volunteers, we built it using her landscaping materials, working through lightning-lit chaos. Claire caught Eleanor trying to breach it, her sabotage recorded. Furious residents escorted her to the community center, effectively arresting her. Eleanor's home, supposedly safe, flooded, ruining her prized possessions. Laura's cameraman filmed her rescue, drenched and screaming, "I'm the HOA president." At the community center, neighbors shared food in cots. Emma, ankle bandaged, offered Eleanor hot, saying, "Dad says we're kind even to mean people." Eleanor's trembling hands betrayed a crack in her armor. Claire found Eleanor's laptop, revealing emails with Pinnacle and pre-filed permits for a condo complex. Greg confirmed Eleanor's lies about the flood risks. After 48 hours, the rain stopped. The mayor toured the wreckage, dozens of homes ruined. Laura's broadcast, "The Crestview Conspiracy," exposed Eleanor's scheme. A year later, Crestview was reborn. My terrain gardens prevented floods, and a new HOA under Chris ensured transparency. Eleanor got 3 years for fraud. Pinnacle was fined and dissolved. My book, Against the Current, sparked a movement. Emma, inspired, wants to be an engineer. On the flood's anniversary, a plaque honored our unity. Standing in our blooming garden, I knew our fight had built more than a dam. It had forged a community worth saving.